All right, folks, let's begin. So I wanted to welcome everyone. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time. Happy Friday. My name is Seth, and I represent Skill Demi, and we are doing this. This is coming to you as a part of a collaboration, actually, between the Skill Garage and Skill Demi. Just to tell you a little bit about what Skill Demi and Skill Garage are doing, we're offering an Agile project management boot camp. It's a 13-week boot camp. We'll get to the details around that a little later on. But if you are interested or have any questions, feel free to stay till the end. I am one of the co-founders of Skilldemi, and just really briefly, we're, a boutique virtual training organization, and we're hyper-focused on agile project management. We brought you guys together today to talk to our HR insider. So Alicia, I wanted to welcome you to the call and thank you for taking the time with your busy schedule. So I think we'll kick this off. Well, even before we get to the questions, and I have a ton of questions that have been DM'd to me already, so we'll go through some of those questions first. But before we even get there, just a little bit about, and I'll let Alicia do her intro as well. I've done a really quick intro as to who I am, but I want to just go through who this webinar is intended for. It's really for anybody at all, okay? But if you're an aspiring agile professional or you're within the field right now as well, maybe you're in between jobs right now and you're interviewing. So this might be a helpful session for really anyone, but those people in particular, okay? So I think we can start with introductions. I've done a quick intro on me and the organization I'm representing. Alicia, if you want to just introduce yourself and then we'll get going in the best interest of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Safe, and welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here this morning. I come from a talent acquisition background, but actually my schooling was in finance. I went to school in California, and I decided to change gears and go from finance to an HR background. So I think with that being said, anything is possible. I lived in LA for 10 years. Um, I worked for an agency where it was my first job. I got my feet wet, worked with a lot of major organizations. Then I moved back to Canada, and I've worked for a large tech company. I've worked for creative media agencies, and again, working for a large multinational organization in an HR talent acquisition capacity. So, really glad to be here, and hopefully some of this would be insightful. And feel free to ask questions as you please in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm also going to drop our LinkedIn URLs if you guys want to connect with us. So, Alicia, if you're okay with that, I'll gonna have your URL here as well. Okay, let me get to the questions. Give me one moment. Let me pull up. Okay, so I did put something in the chat, guys. For anyone on the call, if you have any questions for Alicia, I think the most efficient way to do this, if you could just drop it in the chat. We're monitoring the chat. And like I said, I have a few that are DM'd to me. So why don't I start with, so I have somebody here asking me, what are the top three skills that you look for when hiring an agile project manager or scrum master?
Uh,
Um,
sorry,
yeah, go
you're fine.
ahead.
So the top three skills. I mean, definitely a great question, and there's probably a lot of impactful skills. I would probably say emotional intelligence is probably one of the top ones. And the reason being is like the agile environment, it thrives on a lot of collaboration, a lot of feedback and trust, right? So I think the emotional intelligence would really help with like team dynamics, being able to help resolve conflict more effectively. So I think for candidates, if they're able to foster empathy, self-awareness, and it also helps with active listening. So active listening is pretty big. Another one that I would probably try to think about would be adaptability and change agility. So Agile is built on a lot of being flexible, right? And being able to change over from a flex plan. So I look for a lot of people when I'm hiring for a project manager, those who can really embrace ambiguity and can kind of pivot without losing momentum. So that's really important. So being able to keep calm under um, shifting priorities. I ask a lot of behavioral questions around last minute changes or shifting stakeholder needs. So I think that would be number two. Um, as for number three, I would probably say like servant leadership and facilitating. I think with like Scrum Masters, so there's, I know, say for this organization, there's Scrum Masters, there's project managers. So I think that we really look for someone that's able to be a leader and inclusive, empower themselves on being able to have continuous like improvement in their mindset and coaching ability. So I think those would be kind of the top three things.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. And it goes without say, guys, I'm just gonna add in my 2 cents, but like your facilitation was a great one. Like communication, these are just like, organization, communication, facilitation, all of these things are very you hear them all the time, buzzwords, but communication is very important, being able to build rapport with your team. So these are the kind of things you want to focus on and probably like skip over them and you're getting a little too probably studying the Scrum guide for your interview, which you should, but some of these skills and examples of you using these skills and bringing value to the organization is something that you definitely want to bring to the table. And you want to use a lot of examples like from your past work experiences, right? For any questions that you have like what the situation was, what action you took, and what the result. This is like a formula you should follow for any interview. I have another question here for you, Alicia. It says somebody's asking, what advice would you give to someone trying to break into Agile without any prior PM experience?
That's a really good and valid, question, right? Um, I think that with that being said, I think it's agile is really how you think more than what you know. Um, so I think that being able to I think that being able to go into like communities, go into looking at like if you're currently working today, that you're able to go ahead and shadow people within that department. And I think that's like a good way to kind of get in and shadow current teams or volunteer. I think that being able to kind of get into a lot of these different like online platforms, but you have to be careful of like where you're choosing to go. I've specifically hired from Skills Demi before, so I know the caliber of people that they hire. So I think without coming with prior experience, if you're able to utilize some of these platforms like Skill Demi, they offer a lot of flexibility and beginner-friendly courses that really break down agile principles. So tools like Jira and like soft skills in terms of communication and stakeholder management. Skill Demi's really been good for that. So I think you have to really be able to pick and choose. But I think that everyone's able to kind of break in without any prior experience, but you have to start somewhere. And it's not just getting some of those certifications, it's really getting that practical experience that we really look for. So it's really the online like platforms and building like a network, even on LinkedIn, connecting with people, sharing best practices. So a lot of networking is going to be pretty huge. Um, I think that's the
Let
bulk
me,
of it. I mean, there's a lot more that I can go on in terms
yeah,
of
no, that's
kind of
great.
like high level.
I
I
had a
have
scenario for you. Like, let's say, oh, sorry, Rush, go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, so Alicia, you hired me, right? So guys, Alicia hired me when I first started off my venture as a Scrum Master. By the way, my name is Rashanti. I work along with Seth, and we are the duos that run the boot camp class. So, what piqued your interest in giving me a chance, Alicia? Because I know that I looked good in paper, but it's also about, I think, how I communicated it with you and how I was very persistent in following up and whatnot. So these are I that's what I think, but what do you think?
Rush, you're putting me on the spot now. And I look at lots of resumes all day long. I think as being in our role and capacity, things have really changed. There's a lot of AI, a lot of search words. Um, but for me, I do come from, extensive background and I'm able to look at resumes and it takes me about 30 seconds to really look at a resume to say, hey, do I give this person a chance? I think for Resh, um, you had definitely some skill sets that stood out. And I think it's going to be different, right? Each recruiter, each hiring manager is going to look at something a little bit different. But of course, the paper is your elevator pitch, for the first 30 seconds on paper. So there was obviously something rush that I did look at, but it's more so getting that call from HR and talent acquisition. It's being human, I think that we really look for someone that is communication, like strong communication and just being human. So being able to build that rapport. But I think, Rush, you were able to really be persistent in terms of delivering what you brought to the table, your follow up, your types of questions that you asked me. And I think those are huge, right? Because we see that you're actively listening. So some of the transferable skill set from a project manager you're using in it during an interview was pretty huge. So you asked, you had really done your due diligence in terms of asking the right questions. And I think from that, I saw that, hey, this person with their communication and the way um, they've come up with some unique questions. I think that was a big thing for me to give you a chance. But I think it just really depends um, on who's doing the interviewing, who's doing the screening. But really bold your resume. But when you do get a chance to talk within talent acquisition, bring your best foot forward. I know we always do, but it's like those first 30 seconds or that first 1 minute, we're really trying to see, is this a fit? It's like if you if you say it's like dating, right? In the first few minutes, you kind of judge the person. So I think that persistent, the communication and asking the right questions is huge.
Thank you, Alicia. And I just wanted to add, make sure you guys research the organization and the person that's interviewing. You know a little bit about them in the organization and bring that to the table in your pitch. So that shows them as well that you've done a little bit of work. There's some effort that's gone into it. And Alicia mentioned that follow-up. That follow-up is so critical, whether through email, text, like whatever form of communication that you have. I think you got to keep engaged with the people that are interviewing you. That will definitely be beneficial. Now, there's another question in the chat, and I can take this question. It's more geared towards me and Rashanti, I believe. So it's, hello, everyone. Please, what are the tools that you need to have when working as a Scrum Master and also certifications you need to have? So Resh has put in a few responses to that. I will tell you in a nutshell, Jira and Confluence are probably two things you should absolutely know for sure. And please feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn. We can have a detailed conversation about this, but I'm going to say Jira Confluence. And if you take a look at the screen, I actually had a slide here. These are the basic certifications that can go a really far way. But if I was to just pick one or two, I would say absolutely CSM or PSM, one of these two for sure. PMP is something that you don't find a lot of people have anymore, so that could definitely separate you from others. And scaled agile, this is a very good one to have, but I would start with the CSM or PSM. And I can give you a detailed rundown on this. Again, connect with me on LinkedIn. We could even jump on a call like this and talk in detail. But yeah, definitely take like a picture of this, and we'll try to send this deck out to people as well that are interested. So that covers that question. There is another question. Okay, so Alicia, someone is asking in the chat, what do you look for in that 30 seconds that you're scanning for? I guess this is a very subjective question. It depends on the role and what's required, but what sections are more important in a resume, and what are you looking for in that 30-second scan that you're doing?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And it kind of depends on the day and the role, but I'm like, is this person aligned with the role? And I think when it comes to resume, the top third of your resume is the prime real estate. So it's an important section where we're really looking for clear headlines or titles. So whether that's Agile project management, certified Scrum Master, a strong summary on your profile, and any immediate relevant certifications. And then I would probably say I'm asking, are they currently doing this kind of work? What's the scope of their responsibility? I'm also looking for like skills and certifications, but this section needs to be really tailored. So I want to see Agile, Scrum specific tools like Jira and Kanban, any relevant certifications as well. And we can really talk about this a little bit later if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I don't prefer a long paragraph, so bullets are better. Any experience 10 plus years, unless it's highly relevant, don't put it on your resume. Um, Hobbies or any generic soft skills, unless they're really tied to team collaboration or leadership, like keep it very simple, keep everything to like one page. But yeah, within that first 30 seconds, it's like very tailored keywords. And is this person aligned with the role?
Thank you, Alicia. And I just wanted to add, a lot of people just blast out resumes that are very generic. Take the time, guys, look at the job description, take a look at your resume, highlight what they're looking for, highlight those qualifications that you have, on your resume. And of course, somewhere towards the top, somewhere like a summary or a core strengths section, you want to definitely highlight what the requirements are. So take some time. Don't just blast out resumes. Take a look at the job description, see if you're a good fit. If you are, highlight right in the top part of your resume, and that could go a long way. Those keywords that are mentioned in the job description should be in your resume as well. Okay. Let's go to another question. Um, can you share, Alicia, what the interview process looks like for the role of a Scrum Master or Agile Project Manager? I mean, like the experiences that I've had, HR is the first interview, then it goes to hiring manager and so on. But is that like the basic template, or is there something else that people should look out for to prepare for?
Yeah, good, valid question. Primarily, it's very standard. So, yes, on the talent acquisition side, we're, I guess you call it the gatekeepers. So, in terms of us, ours is a little bit more high level. We're not going to really deep dive at my level, but you definitely have to be able to um, build that rapport, the communication. I'm doing a lot of culture fit at this point. And if you get through to me and past me, then it goes to the next step. Usually it's going to be one of the managers, hiring managers on the team. Maybe this role is going to report to this individual. It could also be some of the teammates, so other senior project manager if you're looking for a project manager role. A lot of it, it's going to be behavioral interview questions, a lot of practical or scenario-based interviews to really assess like your agile thinking. So, a time where you dealt with like a difficult client. So we're just wanting to think of how you've worked and how you've shifted priorities. So that's going to be a really big thing. Um, I think a lot of it's we're going to look about is what you've learned through past projects, your teamwork, real problem solving, and especially if you've taken any sort of online boot camps, we can already tell that you have like hands-on experience. So that's definitely going to be reflective of what we're looking for. And I say this like with true meaning is like having hands-on experience just besides strictly certifications. We want to see that you've been through like a capstone project, like you've had, you know, experience being in the weeds, right? Even though it's not formal work, I think these boot camps are really, really beneficial. So when I see these boot camps, that's a lot of questions around there, especially with the companies I've worked for.
I just want to add to that is just that it's our boot camp is a bit different, right? I know there's several other boot camps where they give you theory plus practical. But what we do is that since we've partnered up with Michael, you actually have a chance to work on live projects, right? Now, it depends on the duration of how long you want to be working on this particular project. It could be a small project, or sometimes if there is a space to actually, extend your stay in a particular project, Michael will do so. But the difference is that we give you a mixture of agile, hybrid, traditional, and so on. So that when you go to the real world doesn't go by the books at all, right? And as well, they don't even, sometimes they have a mixture of traditional and agile, which is what you guys need to know, right? You need to be accustomed to both worlds in order for you guys to be successful. Now, aside from that, right, you got the practical aspect too. From day one, you start off on a project, right? We get you started from like a project charter to so on. So these are things that you guys might want to think about, especially when you're doing a course or a boot camp that Alicia is talking about, because all these little elements actually help you when you put that into your resume to land a successful career in Scrum Master or a project manager.
Thank you. You guys both actually addressed the next question. Just for the sake of going through it, the question was, do you find candidates from boot camps or career switching programs to be more adaptable or coachable in agile environments? And so, like Alicia mentioned, it's something that she's looking for a show's initiative if you have taken a boot camp course. And then Resh did add our boot camp is a little different. We do have the capstone project. We do have the theoretical. We also have like we'll draw from our own experiences. Like I have 10 plus years of experience as an agile project manager, as a true agilist. Same with Rashanti. Rashanti's more on the delivery side now. So we draw from our experiences in class as we're teaching you a topic, as we're going through the values, the principles. We'll throw scenarios at you. We'll have an open discussion. There's no right or wrong answers, but we'll see how you guys react to certain like scenarios, and then we'll tell you how we dealt with it. So that is invaluable experience that we're passing on to you guys through this boot camp. Let me just take a look through the
And I,
chat. Sorry, go
and I
ahead.
think it also like it really shows like when you're taking these online boot camps and wherever you would choose to do so, it really shows that this individual is eager to learn. And I think it also differentiates because it's a pretty saturated market in terms of project management and Scrum and anything related to project delivery. So how do you differentiate yourself? And so it's really good that you're able to do something different. And like I said, whether it's online boot camps, whether it's going through to your current company right now and trying to see if you can shadow someone in the department, but doing something, connecting with others on LinkedIn, trying to set up any sort of coffee chats. Those are kind of of really, really big things. And that's going to really separate you, especially in the job market right now. Um, there is a lot of applicants. There's a lot of AI going on. So how how do you how do you separate yourself is going to be huge.
Thank you. Yeah. And like she mentioned, it's like an extremely competitive market right now. So, a lot of people are not getting called for interviews, and you might be thinking like what is wrong, with your application, but it's not, you're competing with a lot of people. So you have to try different strategies. Reach out to people, on the hiring level on LinkedIn. Ask them for a virtual coffee, guys. Have a conversation with them. In that conversation, sell your skills. So let them know what you're looking for. That's another route to take, right? Really network with people who are in the industry. For example, myself, Resh, network, get yourself out there. Let them know that you're looking for something and what you bring to the table. So of course, you still need to apply. You still need to tailor your resume to the application. You need to get certified, take your boot camps. But there is a lot of different things that you can be doing in parallel to set yourself apart. Um, Let me take a look at the chat. So I live in Alberta. Most Scrum Master roles I find on LinkedIn, whether hybrid on site, are located outside Calgary. It seems your location now matters in landing the role, or is that just me not getting my foot? Okay, so that's a very good question. So I am seeing a shift in the industry. So during COVID, it didn't really matter where you are, almost globally, and companies were hiring you and letting you be remote. And now those regulations within companies are changing. A lot of people want you to be located in the province of where the job is. Now, there are exceptions, but that is predominantly what I'm seeing. Not only do they want you to be in the province, they want you to come into the office a couple times a week. I mean, there is a bank, Scotia Bank, I think, announced in the last 2 weeks, you need to come in 4 times, 4 to 5 days of the week. I could tell you that I'm still in 100%. I'm actually in between contracts right now, and but just before I was in between, I was 100% virtual, which is not so, you don't see that too much anymore. But it really depends on the culture, on your leader, who you're reporting to, and what the mandate is. And I feel like it's really negotiable, but it's getting tougher and tougher. Having said that, I think there are a lot of opportunities out there in Alberta, in Edmonton specifically. A lot of shift I've seen, people going from Ontario and shifting to Edmonton or Calgary. So you should see opportunities there. But if you're living in Calgary and you see more opportunity in Toronto, if what you might want to do is somehow represent yourself being a Torontonian on your resume, so your resume gets seen. And that's, of course, if you're willing to relocate as well, right? So there's some tips and tricks that you could use. For example, I have family in Edmonton, so if I'm looking for a job out in Edmonton, I'll put my Edmonton address on my resume, or something that shows them that I'm located in Edmonton. So those are little tricks that you could use. Another question, do you think other recruiters in the industry identify boot camps as a valid work experience? I think Alicia went through this a little bit, but I'll let Alicia take this one as well, and I can add to it too. So, Alicia, do you think recruiters, like when you see on your resume profiles, you see all this work experience, but you see boot camps, is that a plus for you, or do you just browse over it? Doesn't really matter. How do
Yeah,
you?
I think that these boot camps, especially when you don't have as much relevant experience, if you're switching over, it's definitely a big thing for us to look at. And even when you do have some of that experience, but you're looking to switch, or you've been laid off, or your company has been restructured, and there's a gap in the middle that it shows that you've been doing something. So it may not be exactly work experience, and it also depends on the type of boot camp. So it it, it could vary of how it's looked at, but I think that it's looked at more so this person is an active, avid learner is always trying to upskill. It's definitely a plus. So it's more than just a stagnant certifications because a lot of times we know these boot camps, they teach a lot more hands-on experience than you ever would getting just a certification or doing some sort of, you know, theories or just multiple choice types of questions. So we do value it. It doesn't necessarily be equals to work experience, but it does carry weight. Like it really demonstrates that that you've probably had some real world or stimulated deliverables like that experience. So I think it's very valuable.
So, Alicia, I just wanted to jump in here. I think you've hired one of our students, right, in the past? And
Correct.
I think one of the big pluses for her was that she took the boot camp, but also it's just that, like I mentioned earlier, we have hands-on experience, right? She actually worked on a live project. And once you complete the course or you complete the boot camp and the project itself, you get an opportunity to also go in front of a panel. We have industry leaders from Dubai joining that are within the project management realm, right? Or hiring managers from Loblaws or for say so it was very successful the last time we had it. So essentially all these hands-on experience and the capstone project does count as a work experience, and on top of it, if you are working with us or if you're working on a particular project with us, then we do give you that reference as well. So I hope that also answers your question, Dolly, in regards to that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it
Rush.
just yeah, just to add. So I wouldn't say like again, Rush, it's not work experience per se, but absolutely as valid experience. So you're not going to be able to check off, I have X amount of years. So, but it does definitely count as valid experience as opposed to work experience, if that clarifies.
Yeah, definitely. And then also you get the aspect of the reference that you get from us.
Yeah, so just to add to that, in our boot camp, we have a couple of guest speakers. It's a 13-week program. There is a resume workshop. We give you tips and tricks on how to search for a job as well. And then two guest speakers. In every cohort that we've hosted, we've shuffled or brought in different people. So we had a technology executive from Dubai last time around. We had a hiring manager from Loblaws as well. So I think we had Alicia with us one time as well. So we're constantly trying to bring fresh people into the boot camp, give you their perspective on boot camps, on agile project management, on the industry, and just like a Q&A session with our students, whatever they want to ask, that particular person, you get to connect with them on LinkedIn. Again, these things can go a very long way, just expands your network and can be valuable for you. Okay. Let me just take a look. Now
And
we only have
safe.
sorry, go ahead,
Oh,
Alicia.
sorry. I was just going to go back to, I believe it was Osei living in Alberta.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and what you're feeling is definitely like valid because I think the most tech and agile hiring hubs are really clustered in Canada, but more so the major places being Toronto, Vancouver, Ottawa, and Montreal. And a lot of them are hybrid or kind of remote-ish. And a lot of times it is very true. We will give preference, especially with the hybrid model, and it's going to be changing in September as well, with more of this local talent. But I think also, depending on your status and if you're working currently or what you're looking to do, but I would also consider contract roles or consulting firms that staff more agile professionals like across Canada because they often care more about your availability and skills than your location. So that's kind of one thing. And then also network virtually with other like agile communities in targeted cities. If people have things on like LinkedIn posts, You should be, responding to those when you're on LinkedIn specifically. Include like open to relocate or remote in your headline or your summary. So that can maybe be a bit different. And then just, as Saif had mentioned, adjust your LinkedIn like job preferences to show that you're open to roles in other provinces if your lifestyle or, circumstances allow.
Thank you for that. Okay, let me see. Now we only have Alicia for a couple more minutes. So if there is anything else, I'm just looking through the questions. I feel like a lot of questions were answered already. Let me see if there's something new. I think I think that's all I have. I have one question to close off with. This is, and we could do an entire session on this, Alicia. So just like
Mhm,
really, really briefly, like you mentioned contract roles and
mhm.
full-time, like is there like people just knew a lot of people just are more familiar with the full-time as opposed to contract. Like can you offer your perspective on what you feel like pros and cons or which way people should go or which way the industry is shifting? Whichever take you wanna give us on that.
Yeah, good question. And I think it's preference, it's lifestyle, right? Because there's always pros and cons. When you're working with like a company, you're going to reap the rewards, the culture, the benefits, the internal mobility, but you're also not going to be able to have some of the flexibilities because a lot of these companies right now are really shifting to um, hybrid models. So I think there is value kind of in both. But I think that like if you're able to get contract positions, it gives you kind of variety because you get to move around, even though it feels like you're job hunting. I think the offset is the compensation that you would be rewarded. You're coming in as a consultant. So depending on the level of what skill set you have and what you're bringing in. So if you are someone that is just transitioning into project management, you only have a few years, it's probably more beneficial if you're able to, find a full-time position and network. People know people, it may not be, it could be your neighbor, it could be anyone, right? Just continuously have those conversations. But I think that um, I think that a lot right now that I'm finding is we're in a turbulent market. There is a lot of unemployment. There's a lot of people in certain skill sets. A lot of people or employers at this time are just looking to fill a gap. So there's going to be a lot of more temp contract positions. I would say get your foot in the door because you never know what that can turn around to be. So get your foot in the door, take what you can get because just getting in and getting that experience and that exposure, you're meeting higher ups, you're meeting people. It's just opening so many more doors versus, if you're on unemployment or you're just doing whatever on the side, get doing what you want to do.
And guys, if you guys want to like have a conversation with me, I've consulted for quite a long time now. I've done full time as well. So if you just want to go over pros and cons or even just my experiences or have any general questions, again, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I wouldn't mind having that conversation with you and just sharing my experiences. There is somebody in the chat. Resh has responded, but I just wanted to bring it to the table here for everyone else. So they're asking, as a Scrum Master, Agile Project Manager, is it mandatory to have a technical background? So I will say, in my experience, it is not mandatory, but it is absolutely beneficial. Um, Now, you don't need to be an architect, you don't need to be a developer, but you need to be able to understand conversations that are going on within your team on a high level, right? You're not coding, but you just, if you can understand what's being spoken of, how they're, coming to their estimates and so forth, for example, it goes a long way. And that's something that you can do on the side in parallel. I always, anywhere that I go as a consultant, I pair up with some of the architects and the tech leads, and I get them to take me through the system on a high level using business languages, not tech languages. That really helps me understand. Now, if you want to do a deeper dive technically, you can. And there are, even in our boot camp, we will give you like the basic tech stack that you need to understand. What are the hot programming languages out there, and just give you just enough for you to know to be able to be relevant in your job. But I will tell you, when I started, I didn't have much experience from the tech side, and I just built it as I went along. And it's it's not mandatory at all. So I don't want people to feel intimidated at all. It's if you can understand. Go ahead. Was that Alicia or was that Rush? No, that
Sorry, that was me. Safe. I didn't mean
yeah.
to interrupt.
No, no, no. Please go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say learn the language, not the code, right? Get comfortable with the tools like Jira, Confluence, like whatever the tools are that are used, learn that. So not being technical, no, it's not like Safe mentioned, it's not mandatory, but know the terms, right? Know the lifestyle, the concepts, right? This is gonna really help you communicate effectively. So, but yeah, don't worry about technical unless it's a very specifically a technical project being, and you'll know that when you're applying and you're looking at the job description of what it is, right? So don't overcompensate like for the lack of like technical depth by being passive or anything else, right? Really bring that different kind of value to that conversation, so you can always kind of deviate other things that are more essential for the Scrum role, right? Which is more about communication and being able to facilitate and remove blockers and kind of coaching the team and cross-functionally working with developers and testers, but just not having to be the coders.
That's a really good point. Yeah, thank you, Alicia. One more thing here, guys. So I have somebody here asking about the recording for this video. So I will have a discussion. We'll discuss with Michael. We may do a couple of different things. We may email it out to all the participants. We might post it on LinkedIn. We'll make sure you get what you need, though. Just reach out to us and we'll take care of you. Okay. Do you assist with US job markets, or do you assist us with job markets as well? So we're going to help you with the resume. We're going to give you tips and tricks on how to network, how to apply for these jobs. Obviously, we can't give you a job, right? But we can give you all the tools that you need. And now you need to be resilient. You need to just be out there nonstop, like how Rishanti was too as well to get that job. So we will give you the tools. We'll open that door for you. You got to walk through it though. You got to stay consistent, right? You try a couple weeks, you don't get a job, you don't give up. You got to keep going, right? I know I have a few graduates, that graduated with me out of university, and some of us were like unemployed for about a year and a half, 2 years. So things like that happen. You just have to stay focused and just keep pivoting, trying different things, continue networking. What if you don't have any project management experience? So like I think we've mentioned as well, try volunteering, try networking with people. These boot camps offer capstone projects that gives you some experience. Now, within our boot camp, aside from the capstone project, Rashanti did mention as well, through the Skill Garage is working on live, real life projects. So aside from our capstone, there may be an opportunity to work on real life projects as well. So you can speak to Michael about that. That's an excellent way to get experience. And of course, you'll get a reference both from myself at Skill Demi and as well from Michael as well. So that'll help you. Absolutely. Guys, we're about to wrap up this portion where we're speaking to Alicia. Her schedule is extremely tight. She will have to drop. Nikita, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question for you here. Wanted to ask, are we going to be covering any use cases? I'm not sure because I joined in late, wasn't sure here in this conversation, or are you going to be going through them later, maybe?
This was more of a This was basically more of a QA session, Nikita.
Okay, got it.
We can send you the recording as well. I think you'll find a lot of stuff that we covered in the beginning quite valuable.
Yeah, I'm sorry I joined in late because I had technical issues here a little bit. So
No
wasn't
problem.
able to, yeah. Thank you so
We'll
much.
take care of you. And if you go up in the chat, you'll see you can connect with myself, Resh, Alicia on LinkedIn as well.
Sure.
And especially myself, we can do some one-on-ones as well if you need, if you have any questions.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, would appreciate that.
No problem. No problem.
We also
Yeah.
have our booking set up, Nikita. So if you want to just book yourself a time, we could also assist you there.
Yeah,
It
I'll go
should,
ahead and do that. Yeah, thank you so much for your help today.
no problem at all.
Yeah, thanks a
Um,
lot.
Is there anybody else with any questions? First of all, Alicia, I wanted to thank you for joining us. Again, I know you're on a tight schedule. You're free to stay on if you like, but you're also free to drop if you like. We're gonna go over the boot camp a little bit here, give them a little bit of details on the boot camp, and then we're gonna close off in a couple minutes.
Yeah, it sounds good. No, I appreciate being here, and hopefully there was some value add. And sometimes it's just hearing from someone actually being in the position and being on the other side to see what it really takes. And we're all different. We all have different eyes and we all have different opinions, but I think that you just have to keep going. And I think the last one Ash had written doesn't have enough like experience. Get that experience, right? It's more than you really know. You're even when you're coordinating across like different like teams, you're facilitating meetings, and you're not actually a program manager. Write those things, but do something else to further yourself, you know. Do more learning, do more courses, do more trainings. It's just going to add more value. So if anyone wants to connect on LinkedIn, I'm happy with that as and when. But I wish you guys all the best, and I will drop off. But yeah, you guys can feel free to add me and connect on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Alicia. Have a good Friday.
Yeah, you as well. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
So guys, really briefly, I just want to talk to you about the boot camp, just a couple minutes, and I'm going to pass it off to Michael from the Scale Garage. But if you could, you guys can see my screen, I'm assuming. Really, in a nutshell, we'll go through the foundational uh, Agile and PM basics. We'll go through mastering Scrum and Agile, those two frameworks in particular. Now, there are many other frameworks, but the most popular, of course, are Scrum and Kanban, actually. It's just Scrum and Agile here. It should be Scrum and Kanban. We'll go through budgeting and resource planning. Not really anything to do with agility, but really strongly required as a PM, as a project manager. So in these days, the buzzword is agile project manager, right? So you're project manager plus, Scrum, Kanban, these frameworks. So we'll go through that. Advanced estimation, capacity planning, and like we mentioned, the capstone project. So we'll give you a real life project and then we'll throw you into scenarios. We'll give you homework to do. We split you into teams. We have the teams compete against each other. It's a lot of fun that we have. I coach one team, Rashanti coaches the other team, and we compete. It's a very cool environment. Absolutely. In terms of what separates us apart from other boot camps, like I said, we have those two guest speakers, okay? We do offer a certification. It's a badge that you can actually post on LinkedIn, okay? And we're there for you after the program as well. So we keep in touch with all our students through WhatsApp groups. We have Zoom calls on different topics that they want to talk about still. And that stuff is just included in the package. So you're connected to us for life. We want to see you grow. We want to give back to the community. There's people from the community that gave back to us and made us who we are. We want to do the same to you guys as well. Okay. The boot camp is not free, but we'll go into pricing, and I'm actually going to pass it on to Michael. We have about 8 minutes left, so I'll pass it on to Michael.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saif and Resh, for setting this up, especially with Alicia. I didn't have a chance to say thank you to Alicia, but she knows that I'm grateful for the opportunity she grants us here to, tap from her wealth of knowledge to be able to, help those who are looking to transition into this market. Quickly, I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a little bit of time. I'm trying to, technology is can sometimes be the enemy, right? All right. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael, and I am a lead coach here also at the Skill Garage. We are teaming up with Skilldemi, one of the best in when it comes to agile project management, to bring you thorough training and coaching as far as agile project management is concerned. I know some of you want to know how much is this going to cost? What does it take to be on the boot camp? Quickly, I'm going to run you through the process. I believe they have, taken you through what it is that they will be covering, and I can still help you to as to where you can get that information. So we take you through a 4-step process. The first 3 steps are what guarantees you to be able to land a job confidently, and the 4th step is actually us being able to ensure that you stay in that job. All right. So our training, like you've heard, is organized, is relevant, it's thorough, it's expert. These two combined bring nothing less than 25 years of experience to the class. So that's a whole lot. Our training is peer-to-peer, mentor-to-peer, and you heard from them, it's team-based work. So when you come on the project management bootcamp, you will be you'll be put into teams, and it's more like the teams are working on stuff it looks like a competition, but not necessarily a competition. It's just to, get the students to be more enthusiastic about their learning and to get them to be more involved, right? And then we move on to taking you into the thorough experience. You heard from Alicia that serves as relevant experience. Even if you don't want to call it work experience, it's relevant experience. And this is what has got people hired on the platform. So we take you through live projects, weekly project guidance, project feedback. We work with cross-functional team, right? And do cross-functional collaboration, and you still get a reference on top of that. Now, the coaching also is part of what we do, because of course, you're going to go through the training, you're going to go have the experience, but you still need guidance on how to approach the interview questions. I got a call this morning, and we had an interview prep with someone yesterday, and she gave me a call this morning and said, exactly what you asked me yesterday was what the HR asked me, the exact things. And I'm so glad to just hear that, because I'm confident that she's moving on to the next stage. So we need to be able to help you. For some of you, you've not done an interview in ages. So you will need to, they can help you with that. And then when you eventually land the job, we'll be here to ensure that we can take you through, make you stay on the job. Now you can listen to one of our
Guys, just finished the project management Scrum Master course with the Skills Garage in collaboration with Skilldemi. And I must say that this course was really insightful. I learned a lot. It was a knowledgeable time for me. The course ran for a period of 11 weeks. And during those 11 weeks, we had a lot of tasks in which whatever we are being taught, we could easily apply them. And it wasn't, for me, it was a major part of what I wanted, because I didn't just want theory. That was the learning style I was brought up with. But this was a fully practical course. We had a lot of activities, assignments, class, and group works. A lot of teamwork and collaboration, and it was a really wonderful 11 weeks, I must say. And one of the very one of the very important parts of the course for me was the way our facilitators were really in sync. Saif and Resh, they were really a good, they made a good team. They really complemented each other so well. And the beautiful part of it is they made themselves available for any time we needed them, but both during the course and even after the course now. Whenever we need them for anything, they are ready to jump on a call, to put you through, to explain. And for me, that is not what you get everywhere. It's just something that is really a plus for this course. So I would say that if you're thinking of it, you can just jump right into the course. It's really a good one for me now. I've gained the needed confidence. I need to go right into that field. I can't wait to do great things there, honestly. Thank you so much for listening. Bye now.
And then that's just one out of many that you will see. You can see here from someone who actually traversed and went through the whole program, and she has a lot to say. When someone gives a review and has a lot to say, you definitely know that that's a huge plus. You can say she says the agile. This is the Eva who got a job, right, Resh? This is the lady who
That's
got
right.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
correct.
all right. The Agile Project Manager Bootcamp was an incredibly transformative experience, largely due to the exceptional quality of the tutors. Of course, I can vouch for them. The expertise and teaching methods left a lasting impression on all participants. The tutors demonstrated an unparalleled depth of knowledge in Agile methodologies, coupled with extensive real-world experience. They didn't just teach theory, they brought Agile principles to life. In fact, I don't want to read everything. You can actually tell that this is not just let's just throw a review out there. This is very intentional review coming from someone who has gone through the program. Now, I know that the testimonial you heard said 11 weeks. Now it's 13 weeks. And the reason why it's 13 weeks is because we are constantly reviewing these things, looking at what is in the job market and seeing how we can meet up with what is happening in the job market. So imagine we move from 11 weeks to 13 weeks instead of reducing it. One would expect that we are trying to reduce it, not increase the number of weeks. And the reason why we decided to increase it from 11 to 13 weeks is because there are certain elements we believe that you should be a part of. And I'm going to be, talking to you about that. When we get to the website, you'll be able to download the full curriculum for this program. Give me a minute. You'll be able to download the full curriculum for this program. Now, one of the reasons why we extend that is because some people who come into the program think it's just having the project management knowledge that is it. No, you need to understand leadership. You need to understand communication. You need to understand technology, right? So we bring in experts, like you heard, we bring in experts from Dubai. We have Amir Faradi, who has been he's a I don't want to say an expert. He's more than an expert. This is an advisor. He's a lead when it comes to anything program management or project management. So we bring him on the course so that he can help you with everything that has to do with leadership, communication, as well as Dennis to help you with everything that has to do with technology. So it's not just agile project management, it's everything to help you get equipped for you to be hired. Okay. And then let's talk about everything that you get. So from the project management training, that's supposed to be project management. Permit me, give me a minute there. From the project management training to, give me a minute. I'll just be with you right here. Correct that. Yeah. Please confirm you can still see my screen. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yep.
Oh, all right. All right, so from the project management training to the accelerator program where you get your hands on, to the resume clinic, to the interview prep, to the on-the-job support, all of these things cost a lot of money. And that's to show you the value that we bring to the table. All right. However, in spite of what this costs, you will only be paying for the training. Every other thing you're going to get free of charge and included in that single one amount that you get to pay. So if you are making a payment for this training is going to be 2,500 Canadian dollars. Now, for those of you asking, what is it in USD, in British pounds, you will be able to get that from the website. But before I go to the website, we are giving a 20% discount for everyone on this call up until June 30th, because the next bootcamp is starting in July, and we'll be running some of these other sessions before then. We'll be running a few complimentary sessions before then. So we are giving you a 20% discount up until June 30th. So use the discount code Agile20 to get that discount. All right. So come in here to the project management website, which I'm going to post in I'm going to put that in the chat quickly for those of you looking to, and I think there are a few questions. Some people are asking a few questions here. Okay, sorry if you've handled that. All right, so if you come into the website, I've posted the link. You can download the brochure. Okay, you can see when the course is starting, 19th of July. It's going to be 13 weeks. You don't need any prerequisites for you to start. Now, if you need an exclusive sneak peek for the first week, although you're going to lose out from the 20% discount, you can actually start with us for free, meaning that you can start the week 1 for free. We can allow you access into the first class. You come onto the website, you can get a quick breakdown of everything that you will be taught in those 13 weeks. Like I told you about leadership and communication, I told you about, certain other things, technical foundations, quality assurance. Those are some of the other things that, some traditional project management courses leave out from this curriculum. And they are very essential if you must land a role in today's technical project management world. All right. Okay, so like you can see here, the program is always, your session is always on Saturdays, 3 hours every Saturday for 13 Saturdays. And we cover both Europe and North America. So if you are in North America, you can make installment payments or you can make a one-time payment. In Canadian dollars, that is how much this costs. Again, you can get a 20% discount by using the code Agile20. So if you go in here and use Agile20, you will be able to get a 20% discount. Now, for those of you who are already on our platform running 1 or 2 courses, you automatically qualify for a 50% discount. So if you've been on any of our program, whether it was product management, data analysis, business analysis, if you've run any of our boot camps before, you get any of our programs for 50%. So if you're already in the business analysis program and you're looking to join the project management program or the data analysis program, feel free to reach out to us. You know how to get to us. Reach out to Ama, reach out to myself, or reach out to Lebechi. You will qualify for 50% discount if you're already on the platform. So don't forget that. All right. But for the rest of you, you have access to 20% discount for this course. And also, if you want an exclusive access to week 1, because we're not just allowing everybody, if you want an exclusive access, you're still sitting on the fence, you can get that exclusive access by filling this form or filling the form that I've put in the chat, and we'll reach out to you and give you an exclusive access to week 1. Okay. Any questions? Somebody said, what if you will be doing this weekend, then also you qualify for it? I mean, if you are doing business analysis bootcamp. Oh yes, if you're doing the business analysis bootcamp, you qualify for 50%. If you're doing the bootcamp, all right? So you qualify for 50%, not 20%. So if you are already on the bootcamp, like you did a bootcamp, we can verify you went through any bootcamp on the platform, whether Skilldemi or the Skill Garage, you qualify for 50% right out the gate. Now, just also to let you know, we are having a training course tomorrow, and it's open to everyone. It is the fast track course. Now, if you have any questions about the project management, please feel free to reach out to us. I've posted a few things on the chat. Our WhatsApp community, it's on there, please. You can join our WhatsApp community. You can set up a time with Resh and Saif one-on-one. Like you want to meet I'm posting that again into the chat, please. And then I'm going to speak about, and then I'm going to post the one-on-one. I'm going to post the one-on-one with Resh and Saif if you want to speak with them one-on-one. I know some of you may not be able to ask your questions probably in public because they are probably very personal. They can also help you with one-on-one coaching. Of course, it's not going to be free. The consultation is free, but they will do a very good job for you. All right. So I'm going to be posting that quickly, the one-on-one session. So give me a minute. I'm going to post that calendar for you to meet with them one-on-one. Okay, so that's the calendar for Eresh and Saif. You would be able to come in here and book a time with them. This is a free consultation. So if you need a one-on-one experience with them, they are able to sit with you for this 30 minutes and find out what you need. And then, of course, if you need something more personal, they will charge you personally. All right. Okay. But if you're working to do the boot camp, we can also help you. So we have all sorts to help you to help meet your needs. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Now, on to the next thing we have for tomorrow. For tomorrow, we have the fast track for business analysis. Okay. And it is free and it is free for everyone. Okay. I'm going to be posting that link right away. And on that note, I will just ask if Saif and Resh has any more to add. I'll be posting that here. Please, you can go in and register for tomorrow's fast track. It's going to be free. It's a 3-hour session, 3 to 4 hours. What we try to do here, we will help you understand everything about business analysis without paying a dime, so that for those of you who probably do not know what is happening at the other side of the fence, you can use this as an opportunity to come ask questions, an opportunity to get enlightened and to get clarity as to whether business analysis is the right thing for you. We'll also do something similar with project management. So watch out on our space. Please join the community. We'll be doing something similar also with data analysis. We'll be doing, from now till the middle of July, we'll have those kind of programs aligned for you. Also, we are going to be bringing to you how to leverage your past experience to transition to most of these roles. You have to be in class tomorrow. Try to be in class tomorrow. Don't miss it. All right. And again, I repeat, 20% discount for project management. Don't miss out on that. It expires at the end of the month. And the boot camp also starts on the 19th of July. If you have any questions, you can come to the website. You can message us here. We'll reply to you on here. You can send us an email. You can chat with us through the community on WhatsApp. You can give us a phone call. We will respond to your questions. Okay, so for those of you who are asking about certificate when you attend the tomorrow's session, we do not typically hand over certificates for attending free sessions, but if you need one, maybe a certificate of attendance, you'll probably have to pay for it, right? If you need one, we can always make one available for you, but it's a free session. You don't have to pay for anything. All right. Thank you so much. Did I cover everything I needed to cover? Resh, Saif, did I?
Yeah, you were awesome, Michael. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again tomorrow for those of you who will be joining. And for those of you who will still be on the platform, we will have some more project management sessions leading up to the bootcamp for you. So please stay tuned. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.